In the days leading up to the OTC, the Harris County Precinct One Constable's office arrested 13 suspected prostitutes and one alleged pimp as part of an ongoing undercover sting operation. Investigators answered online ads, and each of the suspects took the bait. Now the women showed up agreeing to have sex for money. A pimp was also arrested in this case. Here for more on this developing story is Harris County Precinct One Constable Alan Rosen and Catherine Griffin-Grignon, also from Precinct One and the Been There, Done That program. Glad to have you guys here on the Factor Uncensored. So tell us about this bust and these arrests that you had. I think 13 women and one pimp.
We did, and so it was a proactive approach prior to the OTC, or right when it was about to start. We wanted to send a message out to the public that, you know, this type of activity, people coming here and coming to our city, our great city, I might add, and partaking in this type of activity, that there was going to be some proactive law enforcement out there to deal with it. And we had plenty of customers. We had plenty of people that came in, and we dealt with them.
Now, explain for us, Constable, for those who don't realize just how big this OTC event is and why it would attract so much prostitution.
It's similar to the Super Bowl or the Final Four. It's a very big conference. It's one of the biggest that we have here in Houston. And so it would obviously attract people that are either into human trafficking or prostitution or different things like that. It would attract them to come to our city, even temporarily, to ply their trade. And so we just wanted to, again, put a proactive approach on this. Of course, you know, we do it a little differently. You know, when we arrest the girls, we interview them for about an hour to make sure that they're not a victim of human trafficking. So we spend an awful lot of time with them before we actually process them into jail. And of course, we had a pimp that ran from us and left his children in the car to come up and check on his girl, and I'm so happy to report that the girl has come to Kathy's program. Actually, 3 of them out of the 4 of them out of the 13 that we were arrested came to get on the right track of life.
And so, Kathy, what do you do with them once they come to you? Once you do that interview process and realize if they are out there on their own will or if they're out there through human trafficking, what do you do then?
Well, first of all, I'm just so excited that the constable has allowed us to, me and one other, Jacqueline Luto, to be on site when they are apprehended and to calm them down, let them know that this is a program to help them get out of the life. And some of them had pimps, but they don't have pimps now, and some of them are still being controlled by pimps. And this bus was the first time ever we've ever witnessed that the girls stood up and thanked Constable Rosen and said, thank you for having a program and having these women here to help save our lives. We didn't know anybody could help us, you know, and they showed up to group, and they were there today.
And how do you make sure, Kathy, they're not running game on you guys? That they're saying, oh, I'm a victim because you got me in handcuffs. So how do you, and I know she's got experience with this, so she can spot their asses a mile away.
Now, you already know. Ain't gonna, hey, this don't stop till the casket drop. I can smell the BS miles away. And even if it is some of that, I've been gifted enough to work with them and meet them right there where they are and walk with them, even if some of them are still dipping and dabbing in the life, because it takes time. It takes what it takes, and there are several different pathways to recovery. And I'm so honored to be a recovery coach and a peer-to-peer certified mental health, substance abuse, prostitution specialist. I passed my test. I took my exam.
You remember that long-ass name.
I love it.
For those who are coming here and they partake in prostitution, buying prostitute, what would be your warning to them?
Well, our warning is obviously you could be talking to somebody that's an undercover officer and that you're walking into a sting operation. And secondly, I think most importantly, these are somebody's daughters, mothers, and children. And it's just a very sad situation. One of the girls that was arrested was 21 years old, and had a associate's of arts degree, and was being forced to go and do prostitution at various hotels. And so we're actively looking for those people, and we want the public to know if you see something suspicious like human trafficking or things like that, please contact law enforcement so we can get involved.
Right. And Isaiah, let me say this last thing. They were saying they were in it because they needed the money, and I asked them, well, how much money do you have? And they said, well, we don't have any. That's why I'm saying, well, you have just failed in this profession. Let me show you how to have a career.
All right. Thank you guys for what you do.